Different ethnic groups face unique challenges in the educational system, and Latinos are no exception. From language barriers to cultural differences, navigating through Prince George's schools can be both rewarding and challenging for students, parents, and educators. In the 10th part of our special education series, Children Come First, Closing the Achievement Gap in Prince George's County, we take you inside the classrooms where the Latino minority is fast becoming the majority.
Read this book before.
There are more than 25,000 students from foreign countries attending Prince George's County schools, and 80% of them have Spanish as their first language. Of those, about half attend classes for ESOL, or English for speakers of other languages. The sheer growth of the Latino population over the last decade has created a unique set of educational challenges.
We created the School Readiness Working Group for English Language Learners, and it consisted of people from the University of Maryland. It consisted of different nonprofit organizations and members of the Prince George's County Public Schools coming together, looking at the data, looking at how do we address the students, where are our greatest needs, are we putting the supports there, everything from recruitment to access to providing the right instruction and support and professional development to make sure that everybody can be on the same page and provide the access and equity necessary.
And the tree was happy.
Recruiting and maintaining a bilingual staff are key components of the school system's master plan, but educators say putting the words into action is a bit more complicated because there simply aren't enough bilingual teachers in the job market. Sandra Jimenez says a telephone translation service and orientation process help parents bridge that gap and navigate the system themselves.
Parents were willing to be involved, they were willing to support their children, but a lot of times they just really didn't understand the American school system all that well, and so they needed orientation and needed help on knowing really what do I do to support my child in math if I myself really can't do math very well. And so by putting those structures in place, what we really found is that students were really able to be successful. And so we also have developed an orientation program that is going to be this coming year connected up with the intake process. So when a new family comes in, from an international family comes in through the International Student Counseling Office, they will be then referred to one of these orientation sessions so that they can get the overview of how to navigate the school system.
Often the school system relies on parent liaisons to bridge the gap between home and school. But during tough budget times, parent liaisons fell on the chopping block.
So the Latino community are feeling all these changes because they don't have anybody to help them out to navigate the system, the education system, and at the same time they don't have people to help them with the translation because that's a major problem for our community right now.
Were you at all concerned that the targets of some of that cut, and that cut in particular, was Latino?
Definitely, no question about it. It was and in part it's because we don't have still power to force and to start these kind of cuts. And part of our responsibility as an organization is to ensure that we keep build power in our community to force better policies in our county.
The move so outraged the Latino community that a decision was made to use Title I federal money to fund parent liaison positions for those schools with large Hispanic populations.
So last year we had 45 parent liaisons that were purchased by the schools, and they continue to address the parent needs of their community at their school.
The school system found that once basic needs were met for the youngest of students, children seemed to fare well in the classroom.
It used to be that we would try to have a lot of support services within the county, but now it's really more along the model of President Obama's reaching across departments, and we're really doing that now, partnering with the health department and park and planning and social services and other nonprofits and organizations to work together to provide support services.
But educators say that somewhere in middle school the tide shifts and an academic gap starts to form.
We're changing the work and realigning the work of our professional school counselors so that they truly can advise the Latino students, so that they can push them into advanced placement courses, so that they can talk to them about what they need to be prepared to take the SAT, and not only to take the SAT, to be successful on the SAT. We all are committed to ensuring that as students get into middle school and then matriculate to high school, that they're successful.
The school system now has more than 300 critical documents translated into Spanish in order to reach out to Latino parents. It also holds monthly workshops and conducts home visits to stress the direct correlation between attendance and achievement.
Monthly, there are trainings that are offered to the community that are the need type programs that they might have. For example, how to support your child at home, how to support reading, how to support math, what is it with all these tests that they have to take, you know, the student code of conduct, the parent portal, which is our interactive database where they can go in and watch their child's attendance and grades, those types of things, how to understand the report, just a myriad of programs that will help parents to be better informed and better able to support their students.
I think the most important thing for the Latino community is educate our kids. We have a serious problem of dropout, a lot of kids who are going to school and they don't return. So for us, it's very, very important, number one. The second one is how we can engage our parents. If we don't engage our parents in the education, we are not going to be successful. So now that we are growing tremendously in Prince George, we have the responsibility to engage our parents and to ensure that we give opportunity to our kids.
All right, now take your A and fold it over to meet the C, right on top of the C.
And in high school, a new issue emerges: how to pass the state's required high school assessments for graduation.
We have changed our high school course sequence and allowing our students some extra time in the schools to get the material, to have access to what they need in order to be successful. And so where a lot of our American-born English-speaking students are taking the assessments in 10th grade, if our students aren't ready, we've allowed them some extra time, so they might take it in 11th grade, or there's some other ways of making sure that the classes are available to them.
Maryland recently joined 27 other states in a consortium to study English language assessments and professional development.
For the first time, we're going to be able to compare our results of how our English language learners are doing, how are our students performing on the annual English language proficiency assessment, and be able to compare it to other states, be able to compare it among each other, be able to really look at the progress that's happening, and be a part of a team of schools coming together, a team of school systems across the nation coming together to look at how to really impact instruction and make a difference.
For many students, college is the ultimate goal.
We do a big Hispanic college fair once a year called Estudios Educación a su Alcance, which is education at within your reach, and it begins to address the needs of elementary school all the way through 12th grade and what needs to be happening, and then we have all the colleges come out and they provide materials in Spanish, so there's a big outreach for the college prep as well through the year.
But for those who are undocumented, high school often becomes a dead end because they don't qualify for state or federal aid for college and must pay out-of-state rates. Latino activists and educators say the result often leads to a higher dropout rate.
Quedan como si nada. Para ellos es como decir que fue a la escuela para
Becky, Lemke, says undocumented students are left with nothing. For them, it's like they went to school for no reason.
Como no podemos pagar lo que nos piden en el colegio, pues, porque
Lorenzo Chaparro says he can't pay what they're asking for college tuition, that U.S. students pay much less than what they're asking for his daughter to pay. When you come from another country, he says it's much more expensive.
But I was really sad, you know, because everybody's like hoping, go to college, have it, do something in your life, and then you get to college and you can't go.
Explíqueme cuál es el sueño que quieres para tu hija.
Pues el sueño nuestro como padres es que
Lorenzo says he has the same dreams for his children that all U.S. citizens have. He wants them to study, to have the career that they desire. I think the government or the state would also benefit, he says, because if they study here, their career will develop here.
Se beneficia porque, pues, ya que ellas estudian aquí, pues, aquí van a desenvolver su carrera.
Patricia Villone, CTV News.
And tomorrow in our special education series, we take a look at Maryland's largest school system, our neighbor, Montgomery County.